All right, everybody, this is Stuart Smith with SmallCapVoice.com. Thanks for joining us today. We are doing the Interscope Hearing Technologies Shareholder Question and Answer session with the CEO of the company, Matthew Moore. Now, we did an earlier audio interview, a sort of get-to-know-you interview, and that was for the people we wanted to introduce to the company. As a service to the existing shareholders, we do also want to have these Q&A sessions with the C-level management of the company. And again, Interscope Hearing Technologies is traded under the ticker symbol INND. And with that, let me welcome Matthew back. Matthew, thanks for taking the time to speak with me again.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me here and opening up this forum to our existing shareholders.
Yeah, I've got quite a few questions here, Matthew, as you might imagine. And listen, listeners, a lot of you can ask the same question about dilution, about a reverse split, just using different words. If you don't hear your question verbatim, do understand I'm going to be asking about those items. But specifically, this was a theme when we first came onto your company. A lot of people talked to us that said, hey, where did Matthew go? Here is the question. Transparency. In 2022, Matthew did a fantastic job of keeping shareholders in the know. Why has it stopped?
Yeah, it has been us focused directly on sales revenue and growth, including distribution growth with Cardinal Health, AmerisourceBergen, Walmart, CVS, Rite. So it basically was a lot of our strategies and plans were taking a little bit longer than we anticipated or what was even told to us by these retailers and these networks. That's the problem is if you provide huge transparency, there is that chance of something falling through the cracks or something not panning out to the exact timeline. But everything that we discussed and everything that I discussed prior back last year, or in at least January, February, everything is still on target and on strategy to execute over the next few months.
Well, very good. So I don't want to bury the lead. A lot of questions about the audit status. Is it ongoing? If it's on hold, why and for how long? Can you give us an update on everything about the audit?
Absolutely. The audit is still in place, but it is currently on hold. It's on hold just as of August 31st. Essentially, we've turned all of our resources, capital, including human resource, into the distribution growth of the Walmart, CVS, and Rite Aid channels. So that way we can grow the revenue once this first anniversary of this OTC over-the-counter hearing aid regulations kicks in, which is basically October 17th. So about a month away or so. So we did take a pause for about 2 months, 2.5 months, but we'll be re-engaging our audit firm come this November. So that way we can, again, finish the audits, post the audits, and actually get back up to SEC reporting standard, which is a huge goal of ours, and we have not wavered on that a single second.
Well, that's my next question. So well done on that. Is becoming a fully reporting company still a near-term goal for the company? And would an uplist to a major exchange be in play after that? So they're talking about NYSE, NASDAQ, beyond.
Correct. It is always part of our strategy and goal to uplist to ourselves to a national exchange like those that you just mentioned. A lot of this does come with becoming SEC reporting. So unfortunately, we have to pick and choose right now what we're working on, and we focused on sales and growth currently. But it is a huge goal of ours to get to that national exchange once we become SEC reporting. And there's a lot of methods from a reverse split back into a reverse merger back into into a shell that's on the NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange, a SPAC, to many other strategies for us to get there. And that's where we have over 4 different investment banking firms assisting us and helping us grow to that next stage of our existence. And then that is where, again, it has to come with the SEC reporting standard.
Well, your ears must be burning because you said reverse split when you meant to say reverse merger. We do have a question about the reverse split later in this interview, but another key focus for your shareholders on social media and when they reach out to myself and other members of my team is dilution. Recent dilution, ongoing dilution, shares entering the market. They need to know why. Can you give us some examples of why this has taken place?
Absolutely. Basically, we're raising capital for inventory, marketing, in merchandising, launching these programs within 1,700 Rite Aid locations, into 4,000 plus Walmart locations, to CVS and AmerisourceBergen and Cardinal Health. So that capital is going directly to growing the business. Plainly, Stuart, I am a shareholder of this company. My family is a shareholders of this company. We only are focused on the growth and the shareholder value increase. So that way it will help us as actual shareholders as well. This is not going to really pay off past debts by any means. This is focused directly on growth. And then that's why we've turned all of our focus, including the audits, including everything, into growing our revenues, growing our sales, growing our distribution pipeline. So that way, come in the next 60, 90, or early 2024, we are growing this company very rapidly with sales and revenue, turning, yes, we've been in thousands of locations prior to this as well, but really turning being into these opportunities into sales, cash, revenue, which then we can not raise as much capital, and then we can continue to reinvest that cash, those sales, into additional growth opportunities and decreasing our need for raising capital.
All right. So I want to just recap that then. So what you're talking about is the recent dilution was done to raise capital to then pay for existing contracts, it sounded like you said. So existing shelf space, existing displays. Because why? Because you can't be in those stores until you have a display case set up. How does that work? If you could break that down for me. I'm sure some of your shareholders know, but if it's an existing contract, I guess my point is you saw these cash capital needs coming. So the dilution seemed somewhat inevitable. Were you just hoping to be able to do online sales only, or just kind of clear that up for me, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our focus is on omni-channel operation, where we're online as well as in brick and mortar stores. Online, it's a virtually, I mean, these buyers and managements of these companies approved of us a long time ago, and that's the reason why we're able to launch with very little capital necessary to make those programs successful. But going into stores, going into physical brick and mortar stores of these retailers do not want to spend a single dollar. They require us to spend this one-time capital expenditure on merchandising, displays, inventory, bringing in third-party merchandisers to come in to even place the products in stores. So all of these are one-time capital expenditures that we are working through, and we hope to have all of these done within the next 45 to 60 days.
Well, you spoke a little bit about what things could look about in the next 60, 90, 120, even into 2024. So the next question fits right into that. Where do you see INND in 2024? And what should the shareholders expect from the company?
2023 have been ups and downs, peaks and valleys, let's say, in 2023. But 2024, because of it takes almost over a year for these retailers to enact their distribution plans, aka CVS, we've been talking to since last October, actually even in early 2022. But it almost takes a year to year and a half to create this. It's called the planogram. That is where every year a retailer actually refreshes where products go. They put new vendors in, new manufacturers, new supplies in. This basically we are now in the replanogram of CVS, Walgreens, Target, Walmart, etc. And that is where 2024 is going to be a very successful and pivotal year for us on our growth. Because all of these one-time capital expenditures and a lot of these headaches of launching these programs in thousands of locations nationwide would have been completed by the beginning of next year. So this is where we see huge sales revenue. This is where we've invested a lot of capital and a lot of time into these relationships. And they're just going to be paying off here starting in just a couple months. But really, we're going to see this ramp up of huge growth, sales growth in 2024. I mean, again, it comes down to there's over 40 million Americans that suffer from hearing loss today that don't have access to affordable, premium hearing healthcare. And this is where Interscope, with our consumer brands iHear and Hearing Assist, are able to launch these products in these retail locations for as little as $500 for a set, compared to $5,000 a set that you would get like at a local brick and mortar audiological clinic. So that is where, again, 2024 is going to be our pivotal year of growth on our B2B stage, as well as our traditional B2C stage, where it's actually, people can buy products on our websites directly as well. And this is where, again, 2024 is going to be a key year for us.
All right. Well, thank you for that. So the next question is sort of, as you used the word pivot, a pivot from that, which would be, is INND a buyout candidate? There's more here. A buyout candidate for a larger player. Have there been any offers? Have there been any interest that you might be considering currently that you can speak to?
At this point, at this time, I cannot disclose any ongoing conversations, but I can tell you this is that Interscope, IND, is very much focused in actually picking up a lot of IP, a lot of technology, as well as products in firmware, software, AI, artificial intelligence that go along with the helping the hearing impaired. So, and this is where it's connecting basically your smartphone to your hearing aid, one of Interscope's hearing aids. So this is where we're actually looking at buying out additional technology, patents, and all of that, like we have. We bought out iHear and Hearing Assist. And we're very much in that same way of actually acquiring technology that we can bolt onto ours. So that way we can create a better, unique selling proposition across the board.
All right, very good. So the next question is, can we get an update on the current court cases and lawsuits that the company is involved in?
We are in the middle of a lawsuit right now with one of the original owners of Hearing Assist, where he basically broke his leak out agreement with us, sold 300 plus million shares that he was not supposed to sell between January and March of this year. So basically we're going through motions. I mean, it is going to be a long, tedious process, but basically what we're doing is trying to prevent him from breaking any additional agreements with us, as well as bar him from any additional true ups or anything like that whatsoever, because he breached the agreement. And that's what we're trying to do right now, is to protect our share structure and protect additional shareholders by fighting the lawsuit, as well as doing a counter lawsuit. So that way we can protect our share structure moving forward.
Well, I want to ask the next question properly. So we've talked about the dilution, recent and ongoing, and in light of that recent and continuing dilution, have you changed your mind? And I don't know what you've previously said about this, but have you changed your mind about the potential of a reverse split?
The reverse split, we have been committed to this, is not doing a reverse split unless it is a trigger of something else, aka uplist, aka a potential acquisition target that's really going to add extreme shareholder value. Our goal is not to just do a reverse split for the heck of it, but for the growth of the company and growth of shareholder value. So again, but we're focused right now on revenue and sales. That is what our focus is. 2024, we will be talking about this down the road. But as of now, I'm focused on growing revenue, growing the sales, growing the distribution channels. But yes, I understand the share structure will have to be addressed down the road. But as of now, I am not focused on that. I'm not even thinking about that. No one in our company is currently thinking about that strategy. Our goal and focus right now, and every dollar that we are raising, is going towards growth, going to sales. Because 2022, we did over $15 million in revenue. And in 2024, I'm looking to beat that number. To do that, we have to stay focused. And then that is what we're doing right now, is focus on revenue and sales.
All right. And that you mentioned something in there that handles the next question, which is every dollar is being generated that's going back into sales. So a potential buyback at this time is basically, it sounds to me like the same as a potential reverse split. It's not something that's being considered because every dollar is going back into the company in the form of getting sales risen.
Absolutely. I mean, it is again on the board as ways that we can, grow the public company and the public and the share structure. But again, just mentioned, we're again focused keenly on sales and revenue. For the remaining of this year. And in 2024, we'll be reviewing options. But again, we will be focusing on those when it comes to growing the company further. So our goal is to protect shareholder value and grow shareholder value. That is my main mission here.
All right. Well, this next question goes back to our last interview where somebody pointed out to me on social media, or no, via an email. In a recent interview, you stated there was less than 5 competitors in your space. People have posted as many as 10 on social media. Now, is this direct competition? And I may screw up some of these names, but let me give you some of them. Jabra Enhance Plus, Sony CRE, Lexi powered by Bose, HP Hearing Pro, Eargo 7, MD Hearing, Volt Max, Lucid Engage, Sound World Solutions, Soundwave, Sontro, and Go Hearing. Now, even in my research, I've noticed some of these are actually the same company. So when they say there's 10, when you say there's 5, give us the qualifications and why there's a discrepancy.
Absolutely. I mean, just as a pure example, Lexi and Go Hearing are the same company called Hearex. There's less than 5 direct competitors of ours that meet the qualifications of what we're trying to do, as well as are not owned by one of the big 5 global hearing aid manufacturers that are actually, to be honest, trying to fight the OTC, the over-the-counter hearing aid category, because they want to continue to focus on the professional model. Like Jabra. Jabra is owned by a company called GN Resound. And so that is one of the big 5, I think number 3 in the world. Sony's CRE is also produced by one of the big 5 hearing aid manufacturers. So again, they're basically just providing a product. Our objective is that we're providing a product with a service. Our objective is to provide a professional hearing touch without someone going into a professional audiological clinic. So that way we can provide telehealth and remote assistance. Again, this is where some of these competitors of ours do not offer that. As well as they have their own agenda, aka over-the-counter hearing aid being owned by a big 5 hearing aid manufacturer that still again wants to focus people onto a professional hearing model because they make more money. So again, with these competitors, there is many trade names, but to our knowledge, there's less than 5 real competitors that have the distribution strategy along with the model of remote fitting with our professional touch. And it's just not selling a SKU on someone's website.
Well, let's talk now about Rite Aid and Walmart. You've brought them up several times throughout other questions and the responses to those questions. Can we get a specific update on possible Rite Aid and Walmart purchase orders?
Thank you for the question. And I cannot disclose right now Walmart purchase orders or Rite Aid purchase orders or other big box retailer purchase orders that we are receiving. So I don't want to go into that direction. But I can tell you is with Rite Aid, we have 1,700 product displays out launched. Our products are in majority of the stores currently, with the remaining 600-700 displays being stocked with our products by middle of October, within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Walmart is launching mid-October, into 4,000 locations nationwide. So again, in the pharmacy section of Walmart. So again, I can't dive into that at this time because the proper disclosures need to be made. But I could tell you is that we are growing the company and growing with purchase orders in many big box retailers, more than have been even disclosed or mentioned in this interview.
Well, Matthew, for this Q&A, that's the final question. Now, of course, I'm going to ask the shareholders and all of the people that are following your company on social media to submit their follow-up questions, even to what we've discussed here today. Understanding we're probably only going to attack 10 to 12 questions in each interview as we did today. Matthew, I know you're very busy. In fact, I know you've got a phone call coming up. That's why we had to reschedule this a little bit. Hey, that's the way we work here at Small Cap Voice. We're here at the ready to answer your questions as shareholders and to accommodate you as well, Matthew. Thank you for your time here today. We look forward to working with you And we look forward to responding to as much as we can here and getting to the source yourself, the CEO, and getting those questions answered. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to additional interviews coming soon.
All right, everybody, keep those questions coming. For Matthew Moore, this is Stuart Smith saying thanks so much for tuning in.